Okay, let's do remote.
That's where all the people are dying.
Oh, there we go. This guy's from China. What a wild part of the world. Yuma County, then the natives control this land. We have Euros in the dirt. They're Walker, Texas Rangers, and Trevette.
Put away your personal...
Dude, how much fun they're having. How much fun, man.
Political rhetoric.
And in recent times, there's been a huge influx of migrants coming over this border. But what is the situation like now? What does it compare to other times in Yuma history? So today we're gonna meet with Sheriff Wilmot, who's been in office here for decades, who's gonna walk us through his perspective and his understanding of the situation. All right, Sheriff, where are we going?
Well, we hit the remote part first, and then we'll get back into town. Yuma County, 5,500 square miles. I got 95 deputies that patrol all of this.
Okay.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Cartels have designated locations along the border. They allow people to cross. Then the cartels also have designated areas that they control where their narcotics come across. Anybody that crosses the border here is paying anywhere from $6,000 per person up to $15,000. It all depends on what country you came from. So those that are coming from Russia, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, the Ukraine, they're paying more to get here.
You're getting migrants from that part of the world.
The Ukraine, brother. I don't get why they would come through the border. I mean, I feel like some of these places are, you know, they let you come in. Hey, Mountain Dew, brother!
What I was told in South Texas was the fence isn't gonna stop anyone. 32-foot fence, 33-foot ladder, whatever, right? But it makes it easier for Customs and Border Protection to deal with it because they can set up the infrastructure on the on the fence.
But it does slow down that criminal element so that Border Patrol can actually...
It doesn't even do that. It's just easier to apprehend them. The goal is to basically get the undocumented migrant workers to be caught and relegated into slave labor within the immigrant detention system, overflow facilities, rather than allow them to come into the country and work as undocumented laborers under private facilities for pennies on the fucking dollar, right? Like, that's it. That's the main difference here. That's the main difference here. That's why the wall works. The wall doesn't actually create safety. It doesn't even create a presence of a deterrent. These people have walked thousands of fucking miles in some instances. They don't give a fuck about a wall, bro. They're gonna sidestep that wall. What this guy is doing is nothing different than slave labor.
So where we're at here is Morales Dam. Obviously, United States, Mexico, right across the river. Cartels designated this as one of the crossing points. So you can see along that where that pickup is at, there's a little road that goes down. Okay. So they get off at the airport, Mexicali, take their Uber, bus, cab,
Get off
whatever.
at the airport.
Yeah, they all fly into Mexicali. Everybody that's coming here is flying in. So 310,000 have crossed this area of the river corridor from here, between here and about 8 miles.
He's going the other way. He's going to Mexico. Oh, there we go. Jesus.
Oh.
This guy's swimming right now.
Tranquilo. God, I love watching fucking cops run, dude. It's just like, that will never get old.
Literally, guys, we've been down here just 10 minutes or so. So I thought it would have been a nighttime thing, but it's all time.
All day long, every day. You just heard him laughing. He thinks it's funny. It's all a game.
It's just cat.
Yeah, it is funny.
Very understandable. Why wouldn't you want to go where the opportunity is? I mean, like I've always said, I would do
Yeah, see, this guy's like, he's an interesting guy.
the same thing if I was living in poverty or in a terrible situation. I would go for the U.S. But as an American, I want the legal process to be respected.
What he just said right there automatically puts him at like a more humane and more empathetic point of understanding than like 75% of fucking conservatives, okay? I know he talked about the legal process, it must be respected or whatever, but like conservatives regularly don't even acknowledge the prior part. They literally claim these guys are coming over to like rape American women. You know what I mean? Like, that's in the minds of conservatives. They're like, yeah, they're here to both be lazy and steal money from the federal government, which whatever the fuck kind of money they're getting from the federal government, who knows? And also steal the jobs of every American and also have sex with their wives. Like, that's literally the mentality. They don't even think about it like, oh, these guys are poor and they're fucking trying to make a better, future for themselves.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, let me ask you something. What's the threshold?
Oh,
Yep.
Dealing with it.
Right.
This country
there is a threshold.
We
of course.
cannot afford to take care of all these other countries' issues.
Right.
I mean, right now, you look at the massive amount
Yep.
of money being spent each and every day by this administration.
You know what's funny about that? It's all about where you spend the money. These guys are not a burden on the system. They are literally, without them, there is no system. American agricultural production falls apart without a steady flow of undocumented immigrants. The restaurant industry low-key kind of fell apart during COVID when they had such strict lockdown measures in place. Half of the background staff that you never see, not the server staff, but like busboys and shit in every fucking restaurant is undocumented. You know what I mean? The idea that construction, food processing, poultry, all manner of agricultural production, and even on the service side, so many of this industry is literally fucking backed by undocumented labor that are getting paid nothing and under horrifying, gruesome workplace conditions. On top of that, they also pay taxes. So they are literally not a burden, but a benefit to the system. These stupid fucking idiots can't comprehend that, though. And the real way to solve this problem of depressive wages isn't by stopping the inflow of immigration, which they don't, by the way. Great justification for undocumented labor. No, that's not a justification for undocumented labor. Hold on. If you want to, as workers, make sure that you have better wages and better workplace conditions, document the undocumented laborers, and allow all workers across the board, regardless of ethnic background, creed, nationality, to organize in their workplace and demand higher percentages of the profits that they're generating for people who will never touch the factory assembly line or never see how agricultural production occurs. That is how you legitimately improve wages and workplace conditions.
So you look at one tent to house individuals, just to sleep in it, is about $4.5 million a month. That's your tax dollar and mine.
But we don't have any problems in this country, so we have plenty of money to spend.
Well, if you live in a bubble, you don't have a problem.
Wow, man. He just explained how fucking cheap it is to take care of immigrants while simultaneously making it seem like it is treating it like it's a luxury to like feed and give clothing and shelter to undocumented migrants that they've apprehended, only to place inside of privately owned immigrant detention centers where they will be enslaved and forced to work for $1 a day.
Supreme Court said, yes, you're right. Federal responsibility is immigration. Smuggling is part of that. So Arizona, you cannot charge a person for smuggling. So if we detain anybody for just an immigration violation, technically we can get charged by the Department of Justice for kidnapping.
As you should.
Even if our officers respond to a domestic violence call and we find a house full of individuals that are in there, there's nothing that we can charge that person with.
What?
Knowing that they are smuggling. Now we can try to get...
Yeah. What do you mean? Bro, he just said, if I suspect someone is being detained for a domestic violence call and I suspect them of being like a smuggler because I saw a bunch of Mexican people living with him, I can't hit him with additional charges. That is crazy. I don't know why you just said it like that. Yeah, no shit. Arrest him for domestic violence, dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about?
So we're coming up on the Kokopah tribal land, and in Arizona, tribal land is sovereign land. And the Kokopah is a river, the river people. So they need access to the river because that's part of their...
So on their tribal land, there's no fence?
There's no fence. There are bollards, or we call them Normandy barriers, and that's used to keep the individuals that were smuggling narcotics from coming across in vehicles and UTVs. But again, here's the porta-johns that we had to do. Border Patrol had to put up a cover for shade.
So this is for migrants coming in?
Yep. So to give you an idea of the monstrosity that we were dealing with here, this was all covered in trash. Some NGOs have come in and cleaned this up. But what I would find down here is all these identification cards and passports. I picked all these up myself. But see, these are individuals that have fled countries of violence, then gone to another country, been allowed to stay there. That's what a lot of these green ones are. They've been allowed to reside in those countries and work and live. But that's not what their original intent was. Their original intent was to get through that country to get to the United States. So they discard their passports, their ID cards, and they portray themselves as somebody different from their original country of violence. So it's a game.
Bro, that's your takeaway? That's insane. My man just described like an unimaginable amount of effort and pain that these people have went through that is like impressive to survive. Like he said, he's talking about survival, okay? Recognizing that these are countries of violence. I don't know how what that means, but like, and he just talked about it like it's a fucking, like they're having fun with it, dude.
You want to discard your passport before you come over?
Yeah, because everything's given to you here.
What?
I'm going to be devil's advocate for 1 second. Ready?
Go right ahead.
Just go along with me here.
All right.
We're a country of immigrants.
Right.
We all came from somewhere.
Right.
And we need...
That's not the devil's advocate, dude. You're being the angel's advocate. I don't think he's doing devil's advocate there. He's doing angel's advocate, calling it devil's advocate. Maybe it's a devil for him, but
need immigration. We have,
Correct.
you know, we need a workforce.
Okay.
We need brains. We need talent. We need work. But like you said before, there's a threshold. Like, how much can you take? And everyone has a threshold, as in, like, they're living in their house.
Right.
And if all of a sudden they had 300 people show up on their front lawn, they would have reached their threshold, right? So what is that threshold? Maybe that's the big question, which nobody can really agree on, right?
Well, you have these electeds, and all you hear is, we need to fix our immigration. We need to fix our immigration laws, right? Why don't we have a change in the immigration laws? Because they can't get together on it. So what do?
oh, it's bipartisan gridlock. That's it. Oh, shit, man. I had no idea. Guys. It was that's the reason. Not because like, the American government, Congress in general is working at the behest of mega corporations. And of course, like, the entire purpose then becomes to just, create a steady flow of migrant laborers that you can exploit and even use as a cudgel against like the documented labor force in the country. That can't be the reason.
You have a garage door opener for the fence?
For the
Is that what's
fence.
going on here?
For the gate, yeah.
This is still the U.S., right?
Yeah, this is all U.S.
Okay.
Welcome to Mexico. Like, I'm going to be carrying guns into Mexico. They'd love that right now.
Interesting to think about that, like, you can very easily, you have a clicker to get into Mexico, but, people in Mexico can't come into your country. Let's not think about that for too long.
This administration, because of their politics and personal and political ideologies, stopped all that because they hate one guy who actually supported law enforcement. And the people of this country need to understand
There it is.
that this is coming into their backyard. This person's going to be in their backyard under a different name, and you don't know what kind of criminal history this guy's got.
What? But
I've
you
run
don't
into
either.
Doctors, I've run into lawyers from different countries down here. I've run into school teachers.
Wait, he gets the problem. He like literally just said what I said, which is, yeah, if you legalize immigration, then yeah, the people who are going to try to sneak in are most likely going to be people who might be criminals, which you can apprehend and then figure out otherwise, okay? Like, he just said it, but he's just so permanent. He's so perma-stuck being like, well, they're brown, so, they're fucking probably drug dealers and rapists and stuff, that, like, he can't even comprehend a world where, like, again, he understands that these are people fleeing violence in many instances, is hyper-focusing on, well, they're littering down here.
Okay, so these are field workers?
No, these are illegals.
Seriously?
Yes.
Can we cruise by them?
Yeah, we're going to. So the cartels are
Those are
collecting their money
illegals.
down here under this bridge.
Jeff
So that bridge
182,
is
thank
actually
you for
in
the
Mexico.
5 gifted
But there's
subs.
nothing between us and there, other than this fence.
Wow. So they're super casual and look like they're walking off to school or the
You
park
got
or
men,
something.
women, children.
Yeah, it almost feels like they're human beings, dude, which are just doing human being shit. Like being human beings. You know what I mean? I know, it's just like, seems like a unimaginable concept, but.
Fence.
So you wave to them.
Why not?
So you have a decent relationship with these people coming
Well, I'm
in.
not here to. Doesn't matter where they're from.
Yeah.
We still have a duty and responsibility as far as public safety goes. Some of these people have been victimized. The children have been taken to.
God, I fucking love it. This is why I love America. This is why I love America. Don't say cap. Don't say liar. No, dude, he's not. That is, every American down to the last hog contains multitudes, okay? Like, every American is just a mixture of oftentimes conflicting ideas, okay? A sea of contradiction. You need to understand that. In his mind, he's like, yeah, these are just like guys that are fleeing violence and shit. He even personally said, I wish we could just like do better immigration.
To our child facilities because they were violated along their trek to get here. You don't know what's happened to them or where they're from. You're welcome to talk to them.
Okay,
if you want
yeah.
to. Find out where they're from and where they're going.
Yeah, yeah. Hola. ¿De dónde eres? Ecuador? Colombia? Buenos días. Buenos días.
Ecuador,
Colombia?
Colombia. Where are you going in the U.S.?
California, New York?
California?
But don't do this anymore. No more. No more.
Oh, come on. Oh, this is so fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Bro, he pulled out of the fucking cop car, too. Like, there was a chatter who kept saying, look at his watch, look at his watch. And I didn't even notice it until just now, where he's got some... That's like the Ben 10 special. You got the Jade on the Rolly.
And just so you guys all know, sheriffs can speak openly, unlike most police officers. Unlike Customs and Border Protection, they cannot speak on camera, correct?
No,
Like, they're not going to speak like you do.
No, they have to get authorization from, like chiefs of police, they have to get authorization from their council and their city managers.
And they're going to speak political speak, double speak. They're not really going to tell the true story because that could jeopardize
Yeah, whereas this guy's telling the true story.
their employment, whereas sheriffs, you're not accountable to anybody. Is that correct? Is that the story?
I'm accountable to the people I work for, and that's the community of Yuma.
And one of the very cool things about the United States
Dude,
is you can
American
go ride
sheriffs
along.
are
Like,
so
technically, this is a
insane,
ride
dog.
along. All right, guys, it's almost the end of the daylight hours. Unfortunately, we didn't get back into Yuma. That was the goal, right? To show the hospital?
It was, well, for you it was.
Okay.
I mean, anybody can shoot a hospital.
Okay, the story of the hospital, though. You had something to say.
Well, when you look at the ancillary impacts that a community has, part of that is the fact that Yuma County, 310,000 people came through here, give-ups. So we have one hospital that services all of Yuma County. The hospital had to cancel appointments because they were overloaded with dealing with the immigrant crisis, and the hospital was not getting reimbursed at all from the federal government. Now, you wonder why your hospital bill is so big, is because the hospital has to share that cost with you as a consumer to fill that gap. So you're looking at tying up not only your law enforcement resources, because we're out here having to fill that gap, but you're tying up EMS from different...
Bitch, you can't do anything. You don't have to fill that gap. Shut the fuck up. This is just like for personal pleasure. Also, American healthcare in Yuma is not fucked because of undocumented immigrants. I'm losing my fucking mind, dude. Like, what an insane approach. What an absolutely psychotic way to look at this situation. Yeah, dude, it's the undocumented immigrants. That's why we can't have free healthcare. That's crazy.
It's absolutely dysfunctional what's going on here at this border. So today was just one piece.
Loved it. Loved that we looked at this entire situation and we didn't go, hey man, we should just like ease this process, legalize it.